Welcome to News Now on AFRICUNIA TV for July 19th, 2021. And I'm Devastation. The Nigerian Bar Association on Sunday took a swipe at the National Assembly over its decision on the electronic transmission of election results. The National Publicity Secretary of the NBA, RWANDA, said the decision to attach conditions to the electronic transmission of election results had whittled down the power of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The reality is that the legislature has the constitutional power to make laws. However, making a law like this may be a way to tie the hands of the Independent National Electoral Commission, prevent the Commission from doing the needful and belittle their power guaranteed by the Constitution. Meanwhile, more facts emerge about the amendments to the Electoral Act passed by the House of Representatives. The House approved the use of smart card readers for election by INEC. The electoral umpire may, however, not be able to use any other device in the electoral process. The House placed a restriction in the Electoral Act 2010 Amendment Bill 2020 passed on Friday. And to Rwanda, the capital Kigali and 8 other districts across the country are sent back into lockdown to cope surging coronavirus cases and deaths. Citizens are urged to significantly reduce social interactions and limit movement only to essential services until 26th July. Both public and private offices, except for those providing key services, were ordered closed. Other measures due to come into force include a ban on outdoor sports and recreational activities, while schools will be closed and the number of people attending funerals is capped 15. International arrivals in tourism will, however, continue. A dusk-to-dawn curfew introduced in June across the country remains in force. Rwanda has up until now avoided the worst of the pandemic by enforcing some of the strictest containment measures of the continent and implementing a rigorous regime of testing and contact tracing. But in recent weeks, cases have skyrocketed as the East African nation battles more violent variants of the virus, including Delta. And on international scene, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has described the flooding that ravaged parts of her country as surreal and terrifying. As the death toll from floods in Western Europe climbed above 180, with dozens still missing, Merkel promised swift financial aid after visiting one of the areas worst affected by the record rainfall and flood that have killed at least 157 people in Germany alone in recent days, in the country's worst natural disaster in almost 6 decades. Merkel toured Schuld, as village on the tide curve of the Haar River in western Germany, where many buildings were damaged or destroyed by rapidly rising flood waters on Wednesday night. Authorities said some people were still missing and they feared the toll may still rise. And away from that story, 15 diplomatic missions and the NATO representative in Kabul joined hands to urge the Taliban to halt military offensive across Afghanistan, just hours after a peace meeting in Doha failed to agree on a ceasefire. A senior delegation of Afghan leaders met the Taliban's political leadership in the Qatari capital over the last 2 days, but a Taliban statement issued late on Sunday made no mention of a halt of Afghanistan's rising violence. The joint statement was supported by Australia, Canada, the Czech Republic, Denmark, the European Union delegation, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, Britain, and the United States, and NATO senior civilian representatives. And in sports, 5 days to the opening ceremony of the long-awaited Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and everything seems to be going well for Team Nigeria. The team is expected to move into Game Village today after weeks spent in their scheduled Kizazaru camp, where they put finishing touches to their preparations for actions. Tokyo 2020 has been described as a likely turning point for Nigerian sports after 16 years of failure in the Olympic Games. With some of the best athletics in various events in Nigeria's team, followers of the world sports says this is the right time for Africa's biggest nation to return to the podium. And that's all we can take on AFRICUNIA News. For more stories, you can visit us on our website on africunia.tv, follow us on our social media platforms on Join Team and Pangram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, drop a comment for us on the comment section. I am Devastation. Thanks for watching.